Warning, this podcast has stories of real-life events and true crime that happens every day. These stories may contain adult language and graphic or disturbing details not suitable for everyone. Listener discretion is advised.
132 in Bush, I've got him at gunpoint. Check the left phone for pulling out your engine on this side. They're pulling them out.
911, advise ready for camp.
Gun!
So to War Stories, I'm Tom.
I'm Chuck.
And we are going live for a debrief this morning. So if you're listening to this on the normal podcast day, we were live on social media the day before because I guess in this day and age we can do that. And we didn't call each other. Like, we're both wearing our shirts. We're both wearing our hats. It looks like we planned this. We just didn't. It almost looks like the color scheme of your backdrop and the color scheme of my backdrop, like we could be in the same room.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Like we both have kind of this gray blue and eggshell.
Yeah.
Our wives.
These are gray blue too.
Right?
Oh, yeah. That's like that steel blue.
Yeah. Our wives must have the same decorator 1,300 miles away.
Yeah.
Either that or Pottery Barn had a sale on the same thing.
It's not Pottery Barn now. It's the new cool thing is fucking what's that country store that's only open Monday through Saturday, not on Sundays? Crazy deals, discounts.
Yeah.
Fuck, what's the name of that place?
I know, right?
It's where all the basics shop.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll think of it.
Fuck.
The
something.
Oh, not Home Goods. Is it Home Goods?
No, that's another good one.
Oh,
You get a lot of good shit in there. The Potty Barn's gone.
what are we talking about?
I don't know, dude.
Well, it's anything can happen on these live debriefs. It's Sunday morning, and because so we have a guest who wants to do a two-parter, and it's sometimes we do a story and we're halfway through it, and we're like, "This is going to be a two-parter," and we invite somebody to come back. We're like, "Okay, why don't we arrange a time for you to come back?" Because we don't know necessarily sometimes like you've heard episodes where we get into it and we're like pulling teeth to get details. And then you've heard episodes where people they have so much to say they can't even get to their main point until there's like 10 minutes left.
Right. It's like
It's a
they want to
fine
get
art.
every story out that they've
Yeah.
and we love it. We're here for it.
Yeah. It's hey, I'm all like, I've got a, I guess my wife's cousin. Yeah, cousin. He was in the military, been deployed a bunch of times. Just, considers himself, a soldier. And then comes home and is now on a sheriff's department just outside of Washington, D.C. He's been on for like 2 years as a deputy. And like he's a young kid, young family, and he listens to the show all the time. He's like, I love the show. I'm like, well, you're more than welcome. I've told you, through my wife, you're more than welcome to come on. And he's like, oh man, I don't have stories, like that. I'm like, but that's the whole point. Everybody has a voice. Everybody has a story. We all have those experiences. So, we'll set you up, Chuck, to get him scheduled, but
Well, that'd be good.
everybody else, that's the whole point of what we're doing is whether it's the good, the bad, the ugly, the funny, the mundane, it's all the same, whether you're a firefighter or a veteran or a police officer. When you deal with human misery for a career, it affects you a certain way, and we're here to talk about it and make fun of it as best we can.
Yeah.
You know me. I wouldn't do this.
It's not ready yet. There it is. So it is a live debrief, and that's what you just saw was a piece of a video that we're going to debrief.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a couple of them, and we've got a listener email. So before we get into the weeds on some of these videos, let's deal with the listener email because we'll forget or we'll run out of time.
Oh, and real quick, I got to offer. So my buddy told me to sign up for LinkedIn once I start going, outside of law enforcement and just start getting it ready. So I did, and I put my resume up on there that's updated as much as I can. And I got and I urge all the cops out there, firefighters, cops, and stuff like that. If you're ever thinking about testing the water somewhere else, put a LinkedIn profile, put your resume on there, all your rap sheet on like what you've done as in law enforcement, what you've done prior, any schooling, put all that good shit on there. I just got offered $15,000 signing bonus and relocation bonus from the good old Secret Service. They saw my resume, and it doesn't say that I'm broken on there right now, but so it's just like a solid, good resume, and they offered a job. They're like, you should move to DC
and be a Secret Service agent.
Yeah.
So they offered you a job because they don't know you're broken.
Yeah.
What is my?
It's basically I mean, it's kind of like the talent requisition.
Sorry,
talent agent.
Sorry about the dog, ladies and gentlemen. I have no idea what he is.
It's one of those talent scouts. Probably a cat.
Yeah, it is probably a squirrel up here.
Garfield.
He's the damn squirrels up here.
No, it's a talent scout that works for the Secret Service.
So what's the job that he would want you for?
Well, it's a female. I don't know. I would have to, throw a packet in, but they're looking for former law enforcement. Apparently,
she wants to send you. She wants you to send her a gift card worth $5,000.
Right. she's currently in Saudi Arabia helping a fucking
your
prince.
background check. Yeah.
Oh man, those were the good scams. Back when MoneyGram was out, those are the fucking good ones. I almost lost $5,000.
No, well, I mean,
I got saved by the.
We dealt with those all the time. People are always, I'm like, I can't do anything. It's call the FBI. Good luck getting them to care. Anyway,
you can
all right.
A small report, but it doesn't go anywhere. But
so
anyways,
email.
Yeah. So the question, he's like, I got a question. This is from Noisy Bull 10. I've been watching a lot of the FAO Instant Karma videos. One, if you're on someone's property, a business, for example, can they, non-law enforcement, pull in front of your car to detain you for any reason besides a crime? Or is that basically kidnap? Well, unless they move you from one spot to another, it's just going to be false imprisonment. Fix that. So no, it's not kidnap. Number two,
right.
If that is the case of someone wrongfully detaining you, do you have the right to brandish a concealed weapon as a deterrent, as feeling like they are a threat to you?
Okay.
So if you're on someone else's property,
okay,
can that person who owns a property detain you? Or is that going to be some sort of false imprisonment or kidnap if they move you? And two, if the person's wrongfully detaining you, or you feel that the person is wrongfully detaining you, can you brandish a concealed weapon? This is a doozy. It's
I feel like this is a test question at the police academy, like the lieutenant's written test. Like this is a test question.
But here's the crazy thing is, I think he's responding to a video that we had of this dude who's just driving on this road, and I guess he passed a couple posted signs, and the fucking homeowner comes out and just points his gun at him and detains him.
So I'm gonna. The answer is maybe. Okay, this is really what it comes down to: is you better know your state and local ordinances when it comes to land ownership, trespassing, castle doctrines, stand your ground laws, and all of those. Like every state is different. Every county, what they'll prosecute is different. That's a tough one. Now, I will say this: if you're trespassing on somebody's property and they point a gun at you and they say, stay where you are, stay where you are. If you feel like you got some deliverance situation happening and they're going to make you squeal like a pig and there's going to be banjos, then pull your gun. It's better to be, tried by 12 than carried by 6, right? Like,
right.
If you hear banjos, you need to start paddling. pull your gun.
Hey, Paul, this one looks good.
If a person is on their own property and they are affecting a citizen's arrest, a private person's arrest, theoretically they have the lawful right, and this is kind of a national standard. And I'm not saying that your laws, check your local laws for your, specifics or whatever. Not legal in Maryland, whatever those legal disclaimers are after the gambling shit. In general, you can use whatever force legal and necessary to effect a private person's arrest, right? Whether or not you can do it for misdemeanors or felonies, right? That may change. What force you can use for what type of arrest, what is reasonably a private person's arrest in your area may change because of your state. Whether you have the castle doctrine, because a lot of people don't know what the castle doctrine is, right? Versus the stand your ground laws, right? A stand your ground law means you don't have to retreat, right? That means I don't have to try to retreat before deadly force is an option, right? Castle doctrine is a whole different thing about where you are at on your property, right? So castle doctrine could apply in this situation where you're on somebody's property. Mm-hmm. So the answer is
don't mess with Texas.
Don't fucking walk on other people. Like, don't be that guy. And if you find yourself accidentally on somebody's property and they tell you don't move, I'm calling the sheriff, say, okay, call the sheriff. We'll wait right here, but we're not going anywhere until you call the sheriff, right? Like, don't trip with people. Like, don't go to their house and get,
almost like
hung on a meat hook.
That kid asking a question who wants to hear the wrong answer because he wants it to be right. It's almost like this question is, can I have a pissing match with someone else on their own property if I believe they're wrong? Look, like if
he's being a dick, can I pull my gun on him? Right.
Yeah. If you don't know that it's someone's property, you just be like, oh shit, I didn't know this is someone's property. If you see clear and posted signs, you might want to check the laws in your area, because if some people have clear and posted signs and they're like, get the fuck off my property, and you're like, I'm going to keep going, you might want to know the laws in that area. Just like we said, we're not going to beat it like a dead horse, but that's all good information. And I wouldn't have a pissing match with someone if they say it's their property. Like, shit, my bad. Hey, let me back out. Don't have a pissing match with someone. Yeah, it's their property. If it's their property, you would be mad if someone walked in your living room, right?
Oh, dude.
Some people are like that with their property. Like,
hey, you go ask Randy Weaver's family how they feel about people stepping on their property in Idaho.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, Chuck, I want to open. I've got the opener because this is one. This highlights so many things, and I just want you to break it down for me. I don't want you to talk about your agencies or your former agency, however we're saying it. I don't want you to talk about their policy. I just want you to talk about police work as a concept, and just tell me what you think. Here we go.
Stop here, you chase! Stop!
Chases him to the field and the traffic stop. Comes up to the guardrail.
Oh shit!
Oh shit!
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh fuck! Oh shit!
You didn't see that coming,
buddy. Why would you do that?
Tell me you saw that coming.
Yeah, dude, you're on a fucking highway with cars and time and place, and that it's not the time nor the place.
Okay, for those of you that aren't watching this live with us, this deputy's talking to this dude on a traffic stop, and the dude is having none of it. Right? It's a rural, traffic stop. I think there's two deputies and the suspect, and the suspect just goes apeshit and beats feet. Right? Just for my next impression, Jesse Owens, pew. He just runs, man. He rabbits, and the deputies are in foot pursuit. They go across this kind of paved road that they've stopped him on, but it's a rural paved road into an empty field, right? and it's tall grass, and it's kind of dark as far as the eye can see at first. And then you come into the light, and you see a guardrail, and you realize that's a guardrail to the highway.
Immediately, that's a guardrail to the fucking highway. You hear it,
right? You know, and then you see the guardrail, and you're like, oh. And at some point in the field, the deputy says, "Stop, or you're gonna get tased." They go over the guardrail. The deputy immediately tases him in the middle of the lane of the highway.
Between number 1 and 2.
Between 1 and 2.
You ain't missing this, motherfucker.
And then you hear the deputy say, "Oh, shit." Because the deputy realizes that he's got a guy that is completely locked up.
Hey, but on a good note,
in the number
taser's supposed to work.
Bro, he's in the number 2 lane. And there is a large vehicle bearing down that is only able to honk its horn. So here, let's listen to it again for you, those of you in podcast land with us. This is.
I know.
So
right now you're under arrest.
It's cool. Right now you're under arrest by rabbits.
Stop! You're gonna get tased.
Stop! You're gonna get tased. There it is. Got the taser in his hand. You hear that? The traffic, right? Now you see the guardrail. Out, off the curb, pop.
Bro, you see cars coming. You see headlights. Yeah,
And then,
dude.
that loud thump. That loud thump.
What's that dude dying?
Is the oh man! Now
that's the sound of a body getting run over by a car. I'm afraid.
Okay, I'll put it out to you guys.
Shit.
I'll put it out to people in the chat. I will put it out to you, Chuck. We will talk about policy. Sure, but I want to talk about right and wrong as well, because somebody's responsible for this man's death. And I want to know who.
Right. And police work.
He says it's him.
Yeah. The concept of police work is to effect an arrest with the least amount of force possible.
Right.
We've talked about it a lot on the show. Can you tase someone running away from you? Well, there's a lot of agencies you cannot. There's some agencies that their policy is loose and you're able to, because you're effecting an arrest with the least amount of force necessary, right? Well, then it goes into something else where you should tactics leading up to it, know your surroundings, just like when you get involved in a shooting, know your backdrop, what lies beyond, things like that. If you're chasing someone on a fucking highway and you're like, "Oh, this is a flat piece of ground, this is a perfect place to use my taser," and you see oncoming headlights, or you're so fucking like in a tunnel vision, break it before you're going to use that weapon system, because you need to know what the fuck's around you. Because if the person's on an elevated platform, or let's say near some bushes on a cliff, and you fucking tase him, the dude falls back like 30 feet and cracks his skull open, you're going to be liable. Just like you tase someone to effect an arrest on a fucking highway, and that person goes down because the taser did what it was intended to. It was honestly, that was a textbook fucking like
it functioned like as it was supposed to.
That thing was like
functioned at the worst possible time.
Yeah. And that dude's technically in your custody, because now you have him incapacitated on a freeway with your weapon system, right? And a car gets hit, you're liable. You should know your surroundings and know where you're going to be using that weapon system. And if that weapon system's in the middle of I wouldn't say a packed freeway or a congested freeway, I would say an active freeway in the middle of the night with good flow of traffic.
Now,
it wasn't.
Devin says they're going to say the officer because he had no muscle control when he got hit with the taser. And then Sunstrom says you could hear him just saying "fuck" before he got hit. I mean, shithead shouldn't have ran, but I feel it'll go against the officer.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: he should not have ran. Okay, let's back up to the first part. He should not have ran.
No.
Right? Now, assuming he died from that car smack, and it sounds like he did. I mean, there's not much to recover. Yeah, at that speed, no. Anyway, assuming he died, the question the court will ask, and this is the question that I tried to look at things from ultimately, is, did he deserve the death penalty for what he did? Now, I don't know what his warrants were for. If his warrants were for being a pedophile, then absolutely he deserved the death penalty for what he did. And I'm all about it. I'm here for it. Like, if you're chasing a pedophile, all bets are off with catching them, right? If they die being taken into custody, then that's, that is what it is. I will not shed a tear. If that guy had a traffic warrant, right? Like, maybe he had a DUI he didn't go to class for, no, he probably doesn't deserve to die. And the wife he's got waiting for him to come home from the bar back in the trailer so she can serve, hamburger helper, she's going to miss him. So now whose fault is it? So he should not have run, right? We've established that. But that was an irresponsible deployment of the taser.
Yeah. Tactics leading up to that were fucking atrocious.
Yeah. Like, that's where we have to be better at our jobs, ladies and gentlemen. And that is because even then, like, the second his tunnel vision cleared and he realized what he had done and tased him in the middle of it, he was like, oh shit, like, I can't, how do I, he couldn't pull the guy out of traffic. So
not with that taser. It's not like fucking Batman where you can just woof.
Yeah.
Honestly, do you think he'll lose his job? Because there was that lady who was like, oh, fuck, mistook her gun for a taser and actually shot the guy and killed him. And this guy knew he had a taser, but mistook the...
Here's the deal. Tasers were so new when that guy got center punched in the back of the police car that I feel like if she could show that her department just handed out tasers and was like, here you go, carry it wherever you want, and she was not trained properly, yeah, I think she has a case, right?
I think he's fucked.
At this point, I don't know that he's going to have a case that he was like didn't know he couldn't do that.
I don't think he'll be criminally prosecuted, but I do think that they will come after him civilly.
Oh yeah, and he's going to lose his job.
Yeah, his department will end up letting go of him.
Yeah,
I think.
And I'm not arguing whether he should or shouldn't. That's not the question. The question was, would he? So we got that one. All right.
Not good.
Tim and Chuck love the podcast. I'm a law enforcement officer Tom, sorry for the typo. It's this. Tom and Chuck love the podcast. I'm a law enforcement officer from Maryland. What's up, Devin? I'm assuming I'm saying that right, Devin,
cool.
On Instagram. So, so which one do you want next? Do you want I've got two of the three that
do the one on the porch.
Let me. The one on the porch.
I'm not going to give any context. Just going to watch it, and you're going to tell me what you saw at the end. Don't look too hard into it.
So I have not seen this yet. This is the one that started playing unintentional.
Yeah, you're fine. You know me. I wouldn't do this if it wasn't what I think it is.
Okay.
If I'm wrong, tell me, please. Bro.
What the actual?
Right. You didn't see it though.
Oh no. I saw it.
Dude, it looks like that cop straight up murders him, right?
He didn't. The guy had a gun in his hand.
He did. When I first saw that, I was like, what the fuck just happened? Because I didn't look at his hand.
That's why I was like, what the like he just walks up on the porch and like doesn't seem to react at all to the gun in the guy's hand and then reacts to it with like that is as cold as it gets. All right, let's try this again.
Dude, yeah.
I saw the gun.
If you were your neighbor, you would think that this cop just murdered him. The way how calm he was, and like his demeanor, he's just like, bah, 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 bah. He's like, no gun. Bah, 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 bah.
Can you imagine a world where he's there for a noise complaint, right? And he goes to the neighbor, and he's like, is he so what's the deal? Well, he's loud, he's just bothering us. And the cop says, well, what do you want me to do? Well, we just want him to stop bothering us. We don't care how. You can go over there and shoot him if that'll get him to shut up. And the cop's like, all right, I'll see what I can do. And he walks over there and just blah, 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 blah. And then he was like, oh my God, he actually did it.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, that guy. He was so calm about it too. He's like, oh no, gun.
Okay. So let's see here. Let's do this again. So I want to
replay that.
You're fine. You know me.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you right now. He says, "You know me, I wouldn't do this." Right there is where I saw he's got a little semi-auto in his hand, right?
Yeah.
I totally.
Wasn't what I think it is.
Now he's got two hands on it. Now here's the thing: is it lawful to
Cop
sit
hasn't
on
even
your
drawn
porch with a gun?
Yeah.
Right?
If I'm wrong, tell me, please. Bro, hands up! Stop. Hands up!
Oh, then he points at.
Yeah.
So fucking. He's a robot.
Yeah. That's RoboCop.
I know we're making fun of this cop because of how like calm he is. I mean, but good on him, dude. He can control his fucking bearing. That's pretty good. He may look a little bit serial
That
killer.
may have been a bit of like, my brain did not have time to register what was happening.
Yeah,
right? You know what I mean? Like I would be willing to bet that there's some of that where his brain did not register, his muscle memory took over. He did what he did. And then they're going to ask him, how many shots did you fire? And he goes, what?
I don't know.
Right.
I think he did a really good job keeping calm. He's not yelling. He's not screaming, freaking out. I've been in a shooting and I had officers, holy fucking, like they're not losing their shit, but they're way elevated and like their high pitched voice comes out.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did a good job.
Yeah. He just, Terminator.
Yeah. Don't point a gun at a cop. I mean, it's open and shut case. I just wanted to get that reaction.
Yeah.
Like, holy fuck, what just happened? Because if you're not paying attention, it looks like he just murders him. He doesn't, but
okay. So I have a little bit of a longer one. So this is it contains a warning. So I'll read it. It says Deputy Jason Bunch knocks on a door and a woman appears. Deputy Bunch confirms her name is Yan Lee. As Deputy Bunch hands her the paperwork, he notices Lee is holding a meat cleaver or some other heavy-duty knife.
Oh, shit.
Now, I'm going to try. You guys, try not to laugh. I know you're going to. This is not a scene out of Kung Fu Hustle. Okay. This is a body cam footage from, anyway. So he knocks on the door. It's civil service deputy. Just some random dude walks down the hallway.
Hi.
What is it?
Are you Yan Li?
Yes.
Okay, here's a notice to evict. Okay?
What?
It's your notice for... Put the knife down right now or I'm gonna put your knife down. Put the knife down. Put the knife down right now. Put the knife down right now.
How do I know you are not an intruder?
15 out of 5, one at gunpoint.
How do I know
Go
you're
cover.
not an
Put the
intruder?
gun down, ma'am. I'm gonna shoot you. Put the gun down. Put the gun down or I will shoot you.
He's saying gun.
15 Adam
That's
5
muscle
coat cover.
memory.
One at gunpoint with a knife. Put the gun down right now.
See? He knows it's a knife, but he
Gun
keeps saying
down
gun.
right now. Now, drop the knife.
That's how he trains.
There he is. That's nice.
Drop the knife, ma'am. You will get shot. If you come at me with that knife, I will shoot you.
I'm not afraid.
Do you understand that?
I'm not coming.
Okay, I will shoot you. You understand? Put the knife down. Put the knife down.
Yeah, he's slamming the
Put the
doorway.
knife down. I walked
He's
in.
not retreating.
Put down the knife right now. Put down the knife right now. Ma'am, you will be shot. Do you understand that? Put down the gun or you will be shot. Drop the knife. Drop the knife. Ma'am, drop the knife. You will be shot. Do you understand?
Here's the thing.
Ma'am, shh, drop the knife.
You have not even shown your badge.
Don't-
And you pull a gun.
Just drop the knife. Don't make me shoot you. Drop the knife, please. Don't make me do this.
No, I'm not dropping.
Drop the knife now.
Lee throws away the paperwork and shuts the door.
Not a fake police officer.
Deputy Bunch calls
Drop
for
the knife.
additional assistance.
Drop the.
Okay. Let's assess so far, because now the threat has ended.
Right. Now she's barricaded.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. Is she, though?
Yes.
Why?
She's being served a lawful eviction notice from a deputy, which means it has
Which
gone
he
to the
did.
point where they're forcefully evicting her. So
Well,
now they have.
But what are they forcefully are they forcibly evicting her right now, or is he just serving her with the notice of eviction?
No, I think
Right.
this is the service paperwork. Get the fuck out now.
Okay, but we don't
that's
know.
what I'm taking from it. I guess we don't know. I guess I was just leading to that assumption. But if that's the case, and
so
she's
here's the
in
thing.
there,
The question is, do we have a crime? If she has to leave,
right?
Then yes.
If it's just the notice, and
if
she saw
it's
30
just
days,
a notice, and she just is mad, what the hell, dude?
Yeah, people are like, she's holding a knife. I'm like, but she's holding a knife inside of
her own apartment where she's afraid of a man with a gun. Right. And she took the knife, and then he immediately pointed his gun at her and said, drop the knife, like, or I'll shoot you.
Right.
And I get it. I understand. But at the same time, she's in her apartment and you just gave her bad news. So, all right.
Yeah.
At this point, I would need to know, if I'm the sergeant, right? This guy's requesting additional units. I'm going to go, what do you have?
Right.
What do you have? Right. Okay.
Come up
and if right now all you have is an angry Asian woman who was making fruit salad when you gave her notice of 30 days, to get out, and you're stirring us all up like this, I'm going to be pissed. I'm not going to lie. Okay.
Because that's a lot of liability.
15 out of 5. She's barricaded in 503.
Barricaded. Okay. Supervisor residents and chance to de-escalate by talking to Lee through a closed door.
Sheriff's Department.
She's like,
Can you open the door, please? I know, but I got you.
Oh.
Okay. Hey, this is the Sheriff's Department with the San Diego Police Department. We're both here. I need you to put the knife down and open the door.
Oh, is this San Bern?
This
is San Bernardino.
No, San Diego.
Is it San Diego?
Yeah, San Diego PD, San Diego County Sheriff.
Oh, okay, I see it now.
When the front door opens, deputy find Lee at her bedroom door holding a large chef's knife. They ask her to drop the knife, but she refuses. Deputy deploys beanbag. Deputies request assistance from the K-9 unit, who was on scene. K-9 unit was called to enter the unit as an additional, less lethal option. How will it end? How will it end?
Show me your hands. Where you at?
Now look at it. Completely empty.
Come out with your hands up. Come out with your hands up. Come out with your hands up.
Update.
Knife down right now, or
I'm gonna say, right? Let's make a guess. I'm gonna guess that we can comfortably assume from this point forward, she was there to be forcibly removed, because what we're seeing, they are making entry, and she is in a completely empty apartment.
Right.
That's why it's echoing. There is not a stick of furniture with the exception of a TV that may have come with the apartment. Okay. So we can assume she might be a squatter or something, but I will give you now, we have enough to say she's probably there to be forcibly removed.
Hold your hands up.
Right.
Beanbag. Put your hands up.
Now this makes she thinks she's being killed.
Yeah, you got stabbed, dude. She was fucking like, hoof.
Okay, so here come from the out. Okay, so she's probably crazy, at least a little bit. She's being evicted from her only home she knows. Yeah. She's got a knife. She's in full panic mode, and these big burly men with shotguns come in, and she gets hit with less lethal. She probably thinks she's being shot with a full-blown shotgun.
Oh, yeah. She's like, I can take that. Fuck you, bitch.
Screw you. Now, I wonder if this is like a consequence of less lethal, in the sense that, like, some people, when it's deployed and they feel it, they're like, oh, yeah. Oh man, I'm being murdered anyway, so now I'm going to escalate force. I wonder if that's You'd have somebody smarter than me would have to do a study. Anyway,
Where it hurts, but it's not like they're standing there like, oh fuck.
Yeah. So now this is, I think, the video from the hallway. These guys are in tactical vests. So they come, yeah. So here's the canine, back up the canine. All the deputies in the hallway, police department, and they're in your hands. So this is outside in the hallway while all that commotion is going on inside. Beanbag. Ooh, pepper ball launcher too. Oh.
Fuck.
Anybody hurt? Anybody hit? I got stabbed.
Oh, damn. I got stabbed.
Okay, here we go,
dude.
This is insane.
Start. Show me your hands. Where you at? Where you at? Search, Marvin. Hold on. I'm holding. Go. Hands.
So dark. The lighting's so awful. I know how that feels. Like to be in that lighting and have your eyes adjust.
Uh-huh.
What about the dog?
No, he advanced. And then she went full gremlin. Okay.
Bro, I wonder if that guy thought he got hit right there at the canine officer, the other one, in the in front of the deputy, because there was two canine two operators.
Yeah.
Dude,
I'm sorry.
Okay,
assuming she's there to be lawfully evicted, I have no problems with anything they did.
No.
Like, other than bottlenecking their retreat.
I was about to say, that's one of my only complaints is they
Right.
crowded that fucking doorway.
Right. And because they didn't have to push so deep in. Right.
You can leave an arrest team outside.
Right. They pushed they could have, they had her pinned in that back bedroom. Right. They could have just pinched her off, they pinched off that hallway on either side, less lethal, aiming into the room from the wide angle, and then have a lethal option down on the hard corners, so in her blind spot, so that if she comes out too far, you've got a lethal option, and then you just hold her there.
Yeah. I think that they had, a good thing they have pepper balls and all that stuff, but I don't think pepper balls for this scenario should have been pulled out. I think there should have been one less lethal option in that room to cover your bases, but she's armed with in close confines with a deadly weapon. I would say bring one less lethal, cover your ass. The rest are all fucking.
I don't know, dude. That pepper ball, here's the thing. They could have, and I've
done that
seen
first.
This done. I've seen this done. So we were on a riot in San Luis Obispo for, it was Mardi Gras. Every year they used to do this big Mardi Gras parade.
Right.
And there had been a riot years previously on this campus, and people were, they were on edge. And so this was in the 2000s, and the shit got out of control, and people would not disperse. And they called it an unlawful assembly, and they said, all right, come down here in riot gear. We're going. And so I went down there, and my partner had Jack, sheriff's department, but he was assigned to our skirmish unit. He had a pepper ball launcher, and there was a bunch of kids in an apartment above us that were talking a bunch of trash out their window, right? They'd opened the window, and they were down above the cops, above the unlawful assembly. And Jack had told them, close the window and shut up and go inside, or come outside and get wrecked, right? Basically. And it was when one of them threw something at us that Jack had enough, and he aimed the pepper ball launcher through the window into the ceiling and hit the ceiling with so many pepper balls, it rained pepper ball powder in that room. And he was able to clear out that entire apartment, and we've scooped up all the kids that were coming down there, right? So had somebody cut the pie and aimed into that top corner and rained some pepper balls down on her, maybe the cloud would have been enough to obscure her vision. Then you could go in and do some other things. You take a baton.
That should have been the first thing,
Sure.
Not in the room.
But I think there's other than there's other ways you could have attempted contact.
Right.
There's nothing that says he can't use a beanbag gun to deploy a beanbag gun against a woman with a knife. That's absolutely reasonable.
Yeah.
Might not be what I would have chosen, but it's absolutely reasonable.
Right.
Maybe they didn't have a 40 millimeter foam, baton launcher. So
there's more than one way to skin a cat. This is just one of them. Ultimately they did everything correct, and that's it. We might have a few jokes, or not jokes, but corrections on some of their tactics, but that's it. It's just something we would have done differently, or just in different lens to look at it. And that's why these debriefs are important, because you can see it from a bunch of different lenses.
Yeah. So that was the other one I had. Now you have one.
Right.
And so do you want to say anything?
Second one? If you play the 51-second one, I can kind of go through it. If you play the other one, that's I think 1 minute and 50. It's a news story, and I would.
The only one I got was the. Let's see. I don't know how long it is. It's this one.
7. I'm
okay. Shoplifting suspects. That one.
Yeah. So I can give a little bit of context on it. So it's shoplifting suspects. Law enforcement. The sheriff's deputy spots the vehicle. The vehicle's at a red light in traffic about 4 car lengths back. She pulls in oncoming lane because there's a small median. She angles her car at the back of the suspect's vehicle, gets out, tries to open the door. Guy tells her to get away from the car. Like, what the fuck are you doing? As he pulls away and turns the car wheels away from the deputy and tries to go when the light turns green, she goes, "Yo, you're going to run over me. You're going to run over me." Backs up, and the car takes off, and 1 round is fired into the vehicle.
Okay. Here we go.
The great.
These are shoplifting suspects.
7. I'm behind it at the light right before on.
Female cop. Okay. There's a lot of tattoos on it. I would not have guessed from those tattoos.
Hey, shut the car off.
Looks like she drives.
Shut the car off. Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
What are you doing? What is this about?
Get out of the car.
What is this doing?
Get out of the car.
What's this doing?
Ma'am, you're fucking... Ma'am, get away from my car.
Man, run me over.
I'm not.
Your car's on.
207, shots fired.
What did she do?
She fucked up, dude. I think she pulled that trigger because she got scared. But yeah. So it's basically a shoplifter. Simple. In some states it might be a felony still, but I know out here in California it's a fucking misdemeanor. Even with priors, there is no felony enhancement, so it's just a fucking misdemeanor. So essentially, you're chasing a misdemeanor, right? You find them, and they don't want to go along with the program, and they drive forward. You're gonna have a hard time saying they're trying to run you over unless it actually caught your foot, and you feel like you're being sucked under the car, and then you shoot. That might be a little different, but you're on the side of the car, and the car decides to take off away from you, forward, leaving away from you, and you crack a round off. You're probably looking at termination. The crazy thing is I watched the full story with the news. Her department is standing behind her, which is a good thing. Good. I would love to go work for that department, because they are standing behind this officer saying that we think she acted in accordance with the laws. We don't think she did anything wrong. We're still investigating it, but at this point, we stand behind her and don't think she did anything wrong. And
so what do you think?
I know what would happen at my agency in California. I would be fired because the crime is not a deadly. It's not a deadly force option. You're not in a deadly force scenario, and if you put yourself into that deadly force scenario, tactics leading up to it are going to be bad. Shooting is going to be bad. It's a shoplifting suspect. If they don't want to pull over and get out of the fucking car, call in more additional units, do a follow that car, and pull them out a different way. I don't think that the crime is worth the risk on this one. The risk versus reward is just too low. For a misdemeanor, like property crime.
Well,
I mean, you're gonna be fucked.
I guess that goes back to my question that I always ask myself, right? Does this person deserve to die?
For shoplifting?
For shoplifting. And shoplifting, like, we should be at a place where we're like, all right, we'll get him later. You know, we don't have to.
Contempt of cop.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So I would agree that I would agree that this is not something your career should necessarily survive, because this is a judgment issue. This is an issue with your gut, right? There's something. I've worked with guys that were, and gals that were problematic to the point where, like I said, my wife had a list of people. I said, if I get hurt or injured while I'm on duty and any one of these cops is working, you immediately get a lawyer and subpoena all the training records and discipline records, you know?
Right. Honestly, and I don't think she shot her gun to like stop the threat. I think she accidentally pulled the trigger. I think she had
it was a sympathetic squeeze.
Yeah.
Okay.
When it happened, I'm like, the fuck, that was late. Like,
so for those of you that want to see, this is, I'm glad you brought that up, because this is, I was just looking for this to share it. You want to see a textbook example of a sympathetic squeeze. This is why they're called negligent discharges, because if this happens to you, it was because you were negligent. Now, we call it a sympathetic squeeze because that's the mechanism by which you have a negligent discharge, right? So one creates the other. Because it's negligent because there's a simple thing you can do that will prevent negligent discharges. And that's get your booger hook off the bang switch.
Yeah.
Get your booger hook off the bang switch. I remember I got yelled at for that in the academy. And I like, okay, yes, sir. Anyway, here you go. Watch what this female cop does. It's the end of a felony stop in Vegas.
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Looked like Reno 911 for a second.
Right? It's not.
Dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's a legit desk pop, right? Like, here you go. We'll see it again.
Dude, she fucking killed him.
No, everybody's okay. She didn't hit him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah, dude got lucky.
Yeah. They're both looking at him like, the dude and the cop are like, what the hell are you doing?
Oh, dude, she probably didn't lose her job either. They probably just put her somewhere on the inside and said, you're never touching the gun ever again. Because that was such back in the day. Like, she probably didn't get fired.
I mean,
you shouldn't be in the field. If that's you shouldn't be in the field. You shouldn't be a cop.
Like, probably a captain now.
Probably. To be quite honest, like that is just that's appalling. If you don't have the discipline in your body to keep your finger straight off the trigger until you ready to fire, until you intend to fire, you shouldn't be in law enforcement.
And that's what it is. The stress of the situation caused her to sympathetically squeeze the trigger when she meant, like, you can clearly see she's about to get ready to holster it, right? Like, she puts it at low ready, and then right after she has the desk pop, she's halfway to her holster, right? Like it jumps back in her hands because she's pretty limp wristed with it already. And I think she was breaking to put it into her holster. Only she got a little freaked out and she squeezed the trigger without realizing it. Yep. Yeah. And so that sympathetic squeeze that her body did naturally because her booger hook was on the bang switch almost killed that dude. Now that had she killed that man? Yeah. Now, no. Like you're going to prison.
Yeah, just like that other female cop who shot the dude in the back. She thought it was a taser. She's like, "Oh fuck!"
Yeah,
she went to prison.
We're beyond that one. Like we said at the beginning, the Merced cop, I think it was, that put her Glock to the kid's chest and center punched him when she thought it was a taser. Like that girl survived because it was a training issue, right? They said she wasn't properly trained. There's no excuse for this. There's no excuse for this.
No. I have a lot of issues with this. I think that it was bad from the get-go. Like, you're chasing shoplifting suspects, getting out of your car, trying to apprehend them by yourself at a red light, and you open the car door and the guy's like, fuck you. Like, what are you going to do? Like, you put yourself in a bad position, and what if you got stuck in that car and got dragged down the street and now you're dead? Like, there's a lot of issues in training that's leading up to the ultimate round. I think it was all fucked. If this was, I look at this from a lens of, if this was a probationer, what would I write in their ratings?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to fucking work with you. I'm like, that was unsat, and I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that you don't pass, because that was so unsafe and so unnecessary. You're going to get someone killed down the road. That's how I look at it. And unfortunately, there's agencies that let shit like this slide in major training issues, and it just culminates down the road, kind of like a snowball going down a hill. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're left with shit like this. Good for her department for backing her. But she needs some remedial fucking training.
Well, she needs to go be a DARE officer somewhere. Is, in my opinion, that's a judgment call. Because you're right. Where is the world where you don't have the confidence to sit in your car and go, I'm going to follow him until another unit's here, and then we're going to felony stop his ass, right?
Yeah, we're the cops. We don't fight fair.
Right.
We have resources. Use them.
Like I'm literally, I'm going to follow this car because there's a chance he might wrap it, and then I'm in a pursuit, and then it's, and like, hell yeah, like all kinds of stuff, right? There's different ways you can do things. There's also not walking up to the car.
Yeah.
Right.
That's horrible. Like, opening the door, like, hey, what's up, dude?
Oh, hey, what's up? And what if it's the wrong guy? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how this guy was ID'd. Are you taking loss prevention's word for it? Because let me tell you something about taking loss prevention's word for anything.
I tell you what, though, working the streets and getting a loss prevention call, 484 suspect there. Now you get there and they're like, hey, he just went that way. And you're like, okay, what did they take? And they're like, they took X, Y, and Z. You're like, all right. And you're putting out that info just like, hey, a theft occurred approximately fucking 20 minutes ago from this store. Walk and don't walk. This is what they're wearing. Little crime broadcast, right? Units in the area like, I got that vehicle. You're like, stand the fuck down, bro. I'm just trying to take a report. Right. It's petty theft. It's a property crime, and it isn't going to get
right. Stop making anywhere. My call into something.
Yeah, bitch, back the fuck up. So
shut up. I had people. God bless them. There were a few that if they piped in on the radio and were like, "I'm en route to assist," I would go code 4, even though I was not. And we all knew who they were. And if you were working with one of those people, it was your duty as a solid cop to be like, I'm closer. I'll take the back on that. Even no matter where you were always closer. Like you could always wave off this guy by saying you were closer, right? And that's what you did, because when he showed up, he jacked up your calls. I also worked out when she showed up. I had to tell her one time, don't talk to my suspects. You make them mad.
I had to go over the air one time and be like, stop following the car. Stop. I'm taking the report. Stop. And he comes back and he's like, what the fuck, bro? And I'm like, what do you mean, what the fuck? It's a misdemeanor.
Bro, I lost a case. This is the opposite. I lost a case because I gave a patrol cop who, I mean, God love him, his $1 million heart, but it took him 45 minutes to handle dark parking dog calls. And it took him like an hour and a half to write a petty theft report, right? Like he was slow. Okay.
You should be able to write that in a car on the back of a incident report.
Yeah. He was slow. So much so that we called him the milkman behind his back because he milked his call.
Yeah.
Anyway, I made the mistake of having him because they put him into at our agency. Sometimes you would put people that maybe shouldn't be in special assignments into special assignments because they'd, quote unquote, earned it or whatever.
Then you can keep an eye on them better.
Yeah. Anyway, so he was the obs man for us. I'm like, all right, dude, if you're going to be obs man here, so it just so happened that we put him on perimeter watching this dope deal go down. What we thought was perimeter, but always be careful because inevitably when your dope dealer starts to drive to the meat spot, the meat spot is going to be somewhere on your perimeter where now the guy that you won't put on perimeter is watching the whole transaction go down. Right. And he calls out, they just did a hand-to-hand. And I said, cool. Boom, we took him down. I asked him later at the station as we're booking evidence. I said, so I'll take your statement and write it in my report. I don't need you to cut a supplemental. I need you to tell me what exactly you saw.
Right.
And he goes, I saw them pull up next to each other, window to window. I said, okay. And then did you see did the money come out first? Did the bag come out first? What did the bag look like? And he goes, I didn't see any of that.
Yeah, dude.
And I said,
you just kidnapped someone.
What? And he goes, I didn't see any of that. And I said, you said they were doing a hand-to-hand. And he goes, well, yeah, they pulled up like they were going to do a hand-to-hand. That's what it looked like. Like, you put out that they did a hand-to-hand that you didn't see?
Oh, fuck yeah. Kidnapping. Hell yeah.
Luckily, we found 10 ounces of coke in the truck, but we had to give it all back. Well, we destroyed the coke. We had to give the truck back.
Yeah, I mean, like, how do you go to court on that? And you're like,
we couldn't.
So you unlawfully searched
the shot.
Huh?
How do you go to court and say this cop thought it might have looked like a hand-to-hand, so he called the bus signal? I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to say for that one. I love the guy, but damn.
Wow.
Anyway, it's a whole other story. I worked with a cop who once got on the stand and he wrote his report with enough probable cause to take the case to court. And then when he got up on stand, he couldn't articulate his own probable cause. Even having his own report in front of him, the DA could not get him at the prelim to articulate his probable cause. And all he said was, well, I was curious. And so they had to throw out that case too.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I've only had one bad court case, and that was because fucking it just they made like having meth and heroin a fucking misdemeanor.
You're right.
And I was still doing dope arrests and everything, and I arrested this person, and I fucking thought I put the shit in the report, and I left out a key piece of descriptive evidence. And
I threw it out.
They threw it out because I thought it was in the property report. It wasn't in the property report, and I thought it was in the report.
I'd rather get a case thrown out. I'd rather if when I got a case where the DA was like, we're throwing out your case because of this, and I'd be like, well, at least you know I'm not a liar. Like,
yeah, they tried to get. So you're telling me your report's not factual and that you lied? And I was like, I never said that. I said my report's factual. I just forgot to put that piece in there, and I'm not changing my statement to match my report. That's what happened. I
made a mistake.
I fucking made a mistake. It's not a big deal. And they're like, I'm gonna throw this out. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. Like, and I looked at my partner. I was like, that was supposed to be in the fucking property report. And he's like, fuck, dude. And I knew we were tired. We were like 3 hours over on this stupid thing. And I was just like, fuck, that can't happen again. Like, and that's how you learn. But you don't try to get out of it and stuff like that. And
don't lie. The lie will kill you. Anyway. All right. Well, what do we have? We have enough. We did the letter. We did the email. This is for those of you in the chat. We answered this question in the chat already.
Yeah.
But Chuck, what do you have for us?
Well, I want to say thank you everyone for listening today. If you like today's podcast and the content we provide, please help us out by rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever podcast platform you listen to us on. Just not Google, because that is gone.
Yeah.
Our podcast is available on all major podcast streaming platforms as well as on YouTube. You can also reach us on our Instagram and our Facebook. Instagram is at war_stories_official, and our Facebook is at war stories podcast. You can click the link in the bio on both of those, reach all of our socials, our media. You can also go to our website at www.warstoriesofficial.com, grab some gear. If you want to be featured on the show, again, that is booking.warstories@gmail.com. Again, that is booking.warstories@gmail.com. I can get you booked. We're always looking for veterans, law enforcement, firefighters, medics, but also correction officers, dispatchers, and nurses. If you have a good friend who you think would be a great fit for us, give them that booking email, connect us. And if you want to be on the show, but you don't want to come on the show, but you want to share your story, you can always write that in and send it to booking.com or booking.warstories@gmail.com. And we can read it on the show. Thank you for the support. Stay safe.
Yeah. And I also wanted to just say thanks for being with us in these live debriefs. They're early morning. They're kind of fun. For those of you who didn't see these videos live, they are on our YouTube page. So go over to YouTube and give us a like and a subscribe and follow us on YouTube. Let's grow. Like, we have to do the grow the channel bullshit, right? At this point, like,
yeah,
Chuck and I have to grow it up and we have to be grown ups and say all the things because that's what's expected of us. So we're going to try and be better about that because we're just dumbasses that are doing this for fun.
Yeah.
And then also, we're going to post the videos on our social media on Instagram and Facebook. So if you want to find out where you can see the videos of what we're talking about, what we were just talking about, you can go there. So you can listen to it and follow along on social media, or you can just go to YouTube and see the whole episode in its entirety, which actually is out right now for those of you that watched it live. So I guess that about covers it. And until our next episode, come home with your shield or on it.